Alright, so previously I've been looking for a tutorial to follow along that has both a front-end component and a server component or back-end component that work together to do a HTML project. I took a look at this one over here. This is, I guess, like a proper full-stack project because it has a database, an SQLite database, as well as a back-end server, as well as a front-end in-browser component, right? And it does full CRUD. But that's a bit more involved. Maybe this will be my second thing to try out. But for now, I'm going to go with this one because there's no database, and that's not the part that I'm looking to learn, right? Just focusing on the HTML rendering part of the server of the server response, as well as the front-end component that consumes that using the HTMX library. So I'm just looking for a tutorial that focuses on just those two things, and this seems to be perfect for that. And the way that it avoids having data is it just relies on GitHub, which is perfect. So yep, got this. Let's skip straight to setup. All right, we're using Express, so just gonna call it something else. HTMX GitHub search. Hang on, actually, let me just go to my CD code demos. Okay, inside here, I'll do vector GitHub HTMX GitHub search. All right. If I ever get around to that. Okay, so npm init. Alright, I've just opened up this in VS Code. I've created all the files. So I've got index.js, package.json. So my server has these components, and under views I have index.pug, which is empty, and index.js, which is also empty. Okay, so the servers. Okay, so I'm going to do const express I don't think fetch is necessary. I think it's just built into Node right now. Install body parser. Oh, this probably comes with Express. Acquire. Okay, for the pug code, I'm just going to copy paste it. Not gonna. I guess a key part is this. This. Okay, so it's explaining what that code does. Great. Alright, so this file, we don't have it yet. I'm assuming that needs to be made as this. So, alright. Okay. So let's see what we just done. So this renders the main page, and in the server that's rendered by this, it pretty much is just a static page, right? So it doesn't really do anything fancy there. However, when the user clicks on this button, that does a submit on this form, and it makes a HTTP post request to the /users and then sticks the response into profile. This ID here. And what actually serves that response is this API over here. Actually, I haven't finished. I just realized I haven't finished this. So data, and then res.send. So we actually send something back. Profile renderer. Data. Right. So then this is actually what serves the request for /users. So the post body sent from the front end has username in it, and then it makes a request from this server to the GitHub server and gets the API result for this particular user, and then waits for the response. Then that response is sent into Profile Renderer, which renders this file into HTML, and that's what's sent back. And that HTML fragment that's sent back goes into the HTML file in the browser and is used to replace profile, right? So it'll replace this section here. So package.json. Okay, so there's listening. So I guess I need to go to localhost. Okay, and of course, open up the console just to see if there's any errors. Search for my own username. There we go. So we can see here that we have an image, my avatar URL, h3, with a login, my GitHub URL, and then name and bio. Great. Looks like bio is empty, but maybe that's just because the API has changed, or maybe because I don't have one set in my profile. Let's check it out. Yeah, it looks like I actually don't have a profile bio set. Okay, that works. Now, I think that's an adequate demonstration, but just for the sake of it, let's take a look at this, right? So I'm going to refresh. So this is a fresh start. So that corresponds to this what Pug renders here. So, right, so we can see the parallels of the equivalents, right? So this form, hexpose, blah, 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 this is just a pure render, the exact same thing each time, right? And that's where the username field gets read in, and that's the submit button. Submit button replaces this because that's the target. HX target is this profile section over here. Okay, so then I'll repeat that again. Search. So what happened in the background? That made a request to /users, and let's take a look at, what does it show? The payload. There you go. So there's form data with just one field, username, BGUIZ, and then the response, I'm expecting it to be a rendered version of this, right? Which is exactly what it is, right? So you've got the image. Let's make this slightly, yeah, so you've got the image, and you've got the H3 with my username, and then a H2 with my name and a bio in a paragraph. Perfect. So I guess that's Hello World for HTMX. Glad to have learnt it.